Welcome to On The Bit. I'm Dave from Dream Thoroughbreds, and with me is Lenny from Bluegrass Bloodstock. How are you, Lenny?
Good, Dave.
That's good. Tough week last week, mate. We had a few, we got a lot of seconds, but that doesn't put food on the table, does it, Lenny?
No.
But this week's an absolute cracker of a weekend of racing, and at both Flemington and Randwick, and there's actually 4 Group 1s over the weekend, so we'll go through the 4 Group 1s. To start off with, we've got the Group 1 Turnbull Stakes over 2,000 metres at Flemington, and where do we look here, Lenny? It's a great race.
Great race. Dave, I think the imports that have come here and acclimatised have really bolstered our staying ranks and middle distance staying ranks, and it just creates a lot more value, you know, to have a bet, and there's a lot of chances. I'm thinking this race will be determined, the speed will be determined by Glencairn Gold from barrier 15 coming across. Mr. Kieran might come across with him. Hopefully that happens and it gives every horse a chance. I'm going with Royal Descent. She's drawn to get a lovely run.
Yep, she is,
With cover, her Sydney form's been exceptional this time in. Over unsuitable trips, Wait for Age, last start over a mile, she ran second. Last time in, as a 3-year-old filly, once she got to 2,000, she really destroyed the fillies, and over a mile and a half, she won by 10 lengths. I know that's 3-year-old fillies, but Dear Demi's franked that form as a older mare this time in, running third in the Underwood. So with the polish of Chris Waller, I'm going with her. And just a quick one with the Fiorente. Anyone out there? He galloped between races at Moonee Valley last Friday night, and
you were very impressed, weren't you?
Very impressed. Yeah, very good gallop.
Yes, he's one of the chances, no doubt. Group 1 racing this spring has been just so competitive, mate. You know, there hasn't been really a standout. There's been very open races. And I reckon in this race you could seriously miss the winner with half a dozen picks. But it all comes down for who gets the best position running, like you basically said. And I'm going to settle for Super Cool for a few reasons. I think from barrier 9 he'll posse up about 3 or 4 pairs back in the run. Gives him a good chance to get to the outside when he needs to and sprint home over the top of the leaders. He's third up at the 2,000. I expect him to be close to his peak fitness. I didn't like him last start. I like Fiorente, but I think third up, I consider him a very serious Cox Plate chance, this horse. He's won an Australian Cup at the 2,000 metres as a 3-year-old. He's beaten It's a Done Deal at Moonee Valley over the Cox Plate distance. So I think the $9 each way is the way I want to go in this race. He's also currently $18 for the Cox Plate. And if he happens to win on Saturday, he'll be equal favourite for the Cox Plate. So I think the $18 for the Cox Plate is good odds. I actually believe this is Mark Kavanagh's best chance to win the Cox Plate ahead of Atlantic Jewel personally. But we'll argue about that in a couple of weeks, mate. Alright, the Randwick. Randwick, there's 3 Group 1s. The first one is the Group 1 Flight Stakes for 3-year-old fillies over the Randwick Mile, mate. And a poor turnout, really. It's only restricted to 6 runners. So
you'd love to have a filly that was around that mark.
So who do you like, mate?
I think it's pretty much hard to go past the $1.40 favourite, which is Guelph. She's meeting the same fillies at set weights. What I thought, an Exceed and Excel filly, you question at a mile, but she did win the Champagne as a 2-year-old, and she was well back. They went really hard, and she had to run a solid mile. I think small field, whether they go hard or they go slow, her turn of foot will be superior. For myself, if I was have a bet, I'd be taking an exacta with Arabian Gold to run second.
It's not a race I want to bet in. I think Guelph should win it. And on the way to running in the 1,000 Guineas in 10 days' time, which I think will be a lot harder race for her to win once she gets to Melbourne. And it's probably just a stepping stone, but the small field should really play into her hands. The next Group 1 is the Epsom Handicap over the Randwick Mile, and now this is a very good race, mate. So who do you like?
Very good race and a very hard handicap, Dave. I'm going with another mare, and that's Streamer. I love the way she's weighted. She's only 1.5 kilos above the minimum in this race. She's a last start Group 1 winner and has won more prize money than any runner in this race with nearly $2 million. I think that's what you've got to look for in these handicaps. She hasn't drawn ideally in 12. But with Hugh Bowman on board, I think they'll sort of push forward. Hopefully she can have some cover. And basically $750 offered on the corporates at the moment. I think it's great each way value for her.
Yeah. I'm seriously confident here, mate, that Guy Walter will train the Quinella in this race. His two runners are Toy Dini and Streamer. And I think he has trained these two spot on. They'll be ready right to the minute in this race. I'm going to lean to Toy Dini. He's drawn out of barrier 14 and his racing style is that he'll get back. As long as he gets a bit of cover, his jockey Blake Shin really understands this horse now. Since he's been gelded effectively, this horse has really turned around his form, and I just think he'll time his run to perfection, sort of pull out, coming around the turn and over the rise, he'll start launching. I expect he'll be running down Streamer, who I think will be forward in the race, as you say. Hugh Bowman is a great jockey, a master at rating his horses perfectly, sort of on the pace. So I think she'll definitely be the one to beat. But I think he may just touch her off, but listen, there won't be much in it. And I'm really keen on plonking on this Quinella, so I think the Quinella's on the bit. The Group 1 Metropolitan is the last Group 1 for the weekend. It's over 2,400 metres, mate. And who do you like in the Metropolitan?
Chris Waller, Moriarty.
Yeah.
He is very nice, second up, running fourth in the Chelmsford behind Hawkspur Dave. Showing he's on track, then was dominant last start over the 2000 at Group 2 level with 59, beating last year's Metrop winner in Glencairn Gold. He drops to 56.5 here, won the Brisbane Cup last prep over the mile and a half. He's fourth up here, and I think Chris Waller's timed this perfectly, and I think he's on the bit for me.
Alright mate, no surprise here from me. I'm tipping Prince Sherry to win the Metrop. I've labelled him a month ago. I thought he was a special in this race. He's had a perfect preparation for the race, stepping up to the 2,400 at his fourth start. He's a real fast stayer, so he'll actually, from barrier 2, should just sit right behind the speed here. They really earmark him as a Caulfield Cup chance. I just think he'll stalk the leaders, and I think he'll win here and then guarantee himself a start in the Caulfield Cup. He's only got 52.5. I just can't see how he gets beat in this race. Only a bad ride and getting caught in the pocket will actually get him beat here. So I expect again he'll just stalk the leaders up until the rise, and then he'll sprint too quickly for the stayers that will get back in the field. So he's my best bet for the day, to be honest. He's on the bit for mine. I'm really keen also in Julianus to run the Quinella here personally. So I'd be happy to see him running down Julianus as he kicks clear into the straight. So
he drops a lot in weight, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he's had a nice prep for this race as well. All right, mate. Stable news, mate. Any stable news for the weekend?
Nothing running as of this weekend, Dave. No.
Yep. We haven't got any runners either, but we've got Fruling trialling at Cranbourne on Monday. Which is very exciting. He's just had that little setback. He's back for another trial. Trialled well there about a month ago. You can watch the replay on TVN, which is, I think it'll actually be live on TVN in the morning, on Monday morning, and there'll obviously be a replay of the trials. And we'll update you next week on how he went. And also we've got the stable visit on Sunday at Anthony Freedman Stables at Flemington, where we'll view the 4 2-year-olds that we've got in work at Flemington at the moment. So you'll be there, Lenny, won't you?
I'll be there, yep.
And 3 of these 2-year-olds have been selected by Bluegrass Bloodstock, by Lenny, and one of the Fastnet Rock filly as well is in work there, and they're just coming along slowly, but it'll be nice to see how they've progressed after their little break over the winter.
For sure.
Best on breeding, Lenny. Who's your best on breeding for the weekend, mate?
Moonee Valley, race 8, Dave, number 4.
Friday night, this is?
Yeah,
Yep.
Xavier. Is a $180,000 purchase from the 2010 New Zealand Premier Sale. Beautiful pedigree being by Pentire. Is a sire of 26 stakes winners, including Excellent, and a 10-time Group 1 winner, King Mufasa. He's out of a Zabeel mare called Axiom, making Xavier full brother to He's Remarkable. We all know about He's Remarkable. And this is a family of the Group 1 winners. Gunyo, who won a Perth Cup, which is Group 2, and WA Derby, which is a Group 1, 60 seconds, legs, and the multiple winner in Spotswood Group winner.
Good. Value bets. I actually really don't have a lot of value bets this weekend. I mean, there's value across the whole weekend. So I'll leave that go this week. The on the bit special, mate. Who's on the bit for you this week, mate?
Race 10, number 2, Flying Schnitzel, Dave.
Yep.
I'm a big believer and a follower of horses repeating performances.
Yep.
And Flying Schnitzel falls into this category. Last prep when first up, she ran 5th over the 1200 at Rose Hill, beating a couple of lengths, and then come to Flemington 2nd up, and it was an exhilarating performance when she overran Norzita.
Yeah, that's right.
First up this prep, she just ran 5th at Rose Hill again, beating a couple of lengths over the 1200, and she comes back here 2nd up, Flemington. Craig Williams back in the saddle, 1 from 1 at Flemington, and 850 on the corporates on the bit for me.
That's a good on the bit special, mate. Good value there. I'm going for my on the bit specials in the same race, mate. I'm going for race 10, number 9 at Flemington, Perron. She did get a run last week in the Group 1, Rupert Clark, after a few scratchings in the race, but they decided to scratch her as well and keep her for this race. This is a lot easier race. She's down to a Group 2 against mares. I think this filly, mare, is all class. She's got enormous upside about her. I just think she's going to be too good for this lot, and I think you'll see something really special on Saturday at Flemington in the last. She opened up about $4. She's come into about $3.80. You might still be able to get $4 on the bit for mine in everything I've got this weekend. Perron. All right, mate. Off the bit, who are we laying this week, mate?
Sydney, race 3, number 1, Mars Marvel.
Yeah, that's a good one. Very short.
Yeah, very short. It's $2.60. Dave, I think a lot of form students are all over this horse because he went from the inside rail to the outside rail last start. He was 20s last start.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe he should have won if he had ran straight, but import that's raced twice here, he hasn't won, and his last start wasn't tractable at all.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be taking $2.60 about a horse like that when you've got the likes of Kalini and horses like that in this race here. I prefer to just watch him go around.
Yeah, I don't like that race actually. I'm off the bit. I'm off the bit with Luke Nolan. I think Luke Nolan is off the bit at the moment. He couldn't ride a broomstick. Absolutely lost his nerve. Suffered. I tell you what, he's suffered the most since Black Caviar retired. I'd lay him on everything he rides at the moment. He just can't. He can't ride a winner. And I'll also lay Boban in the Epsom. I just don't think Boban's come up equal favourite Tordini. I just think this is a step up for him as well, and I'm prepared to lay him in my multis on the weekend in the Epsom, and he's drawn outside barrier. I think he's had a bit of luck in inside barriers the first few starts, so I'll be prepared to lay Boban and go stick with Toydini and Streamer in that race. So that's it for us for another week. Great weekend, I said. This is when it really steps up. The footy's finished. Flemington and Randwick, and then after next week they all come to Melbourne, all the good horses, and it's just another 4 to 6 weeks of just exciting racing, and we'll be there every week from now on. So good luck on the punt, and we'll see you next week. See you later.
See you guys.